Hey everybody, Kurt Zerby here, Kurt Zerby Real Estate Group, and I wanted to give you, I think, pretty critical information right now regarding your house and pricing it. You know, right now is a little bit of a difficult time in the market as things are starting to slide a little bit down the hill a little. So I want to talk to you about pricing. I know we'd all love to get the prices that were here 6 months ago, you know, when things are at their peak, but that's just not possible anymore. Things have changed dramatically. Uh, I've seen it change a lot in my 42 years, ups and downs, but probably not this extreme of a downfall. I've seen some pretty fast accelerations and appreciations, but I've never seen them go down quite this fast. So you need to be aware of that if you're pricing your home, and a little bit of strategy on how to still get the most out of your house. So I have a little example here for you. If you have a house that's was worth, let's say, a $450,000 house back in March. If you look here, back in March of 2022, let's say you had a home that was worth $450,000, and that would have been a pretty nice little house that you could have sold for $450,000. That would have been automatic. So what happened after that, and where are we today? So if you check this out, you'll see that this is March through December of 2022. As you can see, from March till about July or June, prices kept going up. That's about when we peaked, was in about June or July of 22. That $450,000 house just 3 months earlier would have sold for $465,000, $15,000 more just in 3 or 4 months. So pretty sharp increase over a short period of time, and that's what was happening in the market. So at about that time, prices leveled off for a few months. You could feel it happen, almost like a rainstorm coming. I could feel it, that it changed in June and things were going to start going the other direction. I thought it might stay flat a little longer, but it didn't. We've been seeing price changes going on since June now. And so this is what's critical for you to think about if you're trying to sell your house today. Because today is over here in January of 23. So we're here right now, January of 23. And as you can see, we're just about back down to that 450 point on that same house again. Just in that 6 month period of time, that house has lost from 465 down to about 450. It's back to that point again, almost. So things have changed, and it's just the reality of it, and there's nothing we can do about it. So here's what you want to do if you're thinking about selling your house and you need to price it. You need to price it with that in mind. So if you look at this, this is what I predict and project we're going to see through the rest of this year. We're going to have a fairly steep decrease over the next 12 months. You know, Colorado, and all the articles we're looking at, the forecasters, Colorado had one of the highest appreciation rates in the country during this little season in this market. And because of that, we're probably going to have some of the more depreciation in value than other states are going to have. So it's going to be a little bit of a steep decline for a little bit. It will level out again. I figure probably by the time we get to the end of the year, it'll start to level out. Of course, a lot's going to depend on what happens in Washington and with the Fed and rates and economy. A lot of factors here, but I predict it's going to keep dropping for a little while. So here's what you want to look at. If you're right here in January and you're thinking, you know, I want to sell my house, how do I price my house? So a lot of what we normally do is we'll look at homes that have sold that are comparable to yours, and we make that comparison. That tells us what yours should bring. The only difficulty with that right now is we would have to pull homes from behind it all the way up into here to tell us what your home is worth today. And as you can see, that probably wouldn't be accurate because these homes all sold higher than what the market will bear now. So you have to use sales that are pretty close to it. You can't go back much more than a couple of months, and you have to forecast forward a little bit too to find out really where your home should be priced. And here's the critical thing. You have buyers in the market right now. If you think you want to wait a little longer and keep your price high and try to get more back out of it like the market did have, you're going to be back here somewhere. That's going to be your house and a potential buyer, they're going to be behind the market. And this is all going in this trajectory, this direction. And what happens is buyers are looking forward to new listings that come on the market. They're not looking behind. They're not looking back at the higher prices. They know they can get better deals now. So they're looking forward like this. So you have to have a strategy in your pricing that will land you in front of this buyer. You need to have your house and your pricing somewhere in here ahead of this trend that's going downhill, so that the buyers, when your property comes on the market, it's in front of them, and it's something that will appeal to them because of the pricing. If you don't, buyers, if they even will consider it, are going to wind up offering you quite a bit less. And we're seeing some pretty low offers here recently on houses, a lot more than I would have expected. So it's nothing like it was over the last 2 years, where we'd get multiple offers, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 offers on a house. It would sell for 20% more than what it was listed for. That's just not the world anymore. That's gone. And now we're faced with a declining market. And so if you want to get the most out of your house, you have to price your house just in front of the buyer. You may have to sacrifice a little bit. But if you bought your house, if you've had your house for more than a couple years is all, you're still way back here somewhere what you paid for your house. So you're still going to make a good bit of money on your house. It just won't be as much as what it could have been 6 months ago. So when you're pricing a home, think about that trajectory of the market and try to get just in front of it. And whatever agent you're using, you can have that conversation. They can talk about comps to you, and keep that in mind so that you know that if you price back behind it, you're going to be leaving buyers behind, or you're probably going to sit longer. And the longer you sit, the further down this scale you're going to go. And the reality is the market is going to determine what your house brings. So the longer you wait, the more it's going to drop. So if you want to accomplish your sales soon and get the most you can out of it in this market, get just ahead of it a little bit from where we are right now and price it accordingly. If you need more help with that, we're glad to help. We can always come do analysis for you and make this make sense in terms of actual numbers. And hopefully this all makes sense to you guys. And thanks for listening. Have a happy new year. Bye.